Atlantic Canada has a history of smuggling with the French islands of St. Pierre and Miquelon. Nowhere on the east coast of the North American continent has this phenomenon been as prevalent as it was before 1949 with the Dominion of Newfoundland and as it is now with the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. The economy of St. Pierre flourished during Prohibition, when many organized crime figures from the United States and mainland Canada visited the French islands and carried out extensive commerce there. With an end to Prohibition and a more concerted and coordinated effort by various law enforcement agencies, St. Pierre waned as the gateway for smuggling contraband into North America. Gone are the days when fishermen traveled to the French colony in their own boats to pick up cheap liquor and tobacco for their own consumption. However, the geographic relationship between the French islands and the south coast of Newfoundland, coupled with the topography of Newfoundland, continue to be conducive in making smuggling a seemingly profitable venture. Today, smuggling has become a business where individuals, motivated by greed, profit, and self-interest, have become the major players. This new breed of smuggler is much more organized than in days gone by. Oftentimes, these individuals will use counter-surveillance techniques, that is, have their confederates follow RCMP patrol units to ensure no interference in smuggling activities. Faster boats with the single purpose of eluding capture and the use by some individuals of an increasingly sophisticated array of high-tech equipment designed to avoid detection characterize a distinctly different brand of smuggling than that practiced by our forefathers. Law officers have seen a dramatic escalation of smuggling since 1988, but with a concerted effort in cooperation with other agencies, it appears that the RCMP have been effective in their most recent efforts in diminishing contraband originating from St. Pierre. Efforts to eliminate smuggling on this front continue. Today, however, the problem has expanded. Officers are being challenged by an increase in contraband from other sources, principally mainland Canada. The contraband is transported by private vehicles and transport trucks into the province. Canada Post has also been exploited as an unwilling accomplice in the delivery of contraband through the mail. In February 1994, the federal government offered reduced tax rates to provinces who lowered their taxes on tobacco products. Ontario, Quebec, and the Maritime provinces took advantage of this program. Participation in this program by Newfoundland would have resulted in a revenue loss of approximately $40 million to $50 million per year, which the province could not absorb. The impact of not participating in the federal initiative is that a difference now exists of approximately $30 per carton in the legal price of cigarettes between Quebec, Ontario, and Newfoundland and Labrador. Thus, a new opportunity for interprovincial smuggling has developed. Thrust into the middle of this fray are the RCMP and other federal and provincial law enforcement agencies. These agencies, responsible for the enforcement of excise regulations, have been keeping pace both in technology and trends. The federal and provincial governments have demonstrated their commitment to anti-smuggling initiatives. Well-trained personnel, utilizing an increasingly sophisticated array of equipment, are being focused on stemming the tide of contraband products. As well as updating the technology in the battle against smuggling, laws have also been updated. Our provincial government has redefined and amended laws to supply police officers with more flexibility in enforcing excise regulations. For example, a warrant is not always required to search a vehicle if an officer has reasonable grounds. Fines have been increased substantially, ranging from a minimum of $200 to a maximum of $100,000. For example, a suspect detained with a trunkload of tobacco could pay a $25,000 penalty and have the conveyance used in the illegal act confiscated. Businesses convicted of contraband-related offenses may lose provincial operating licenses. Permits are now required by any person in Canada bringing tobacco into the province other than one opened package of cigarettes. The province has implemented regulations to require its own provincial markings for both cigarettes and fine-cut tobacco. Federal legislative amendments have also been implemented to curtail smuggling. The federal government passed Proceeds of Crime legislation, which provides for the seizure, retention, and forfeiture of assets acquired through unlawful means.
5 times the tax owing on 349 containers of tobacco is $23,906.50. You will have time to pay these fines. However, should you not pay them, you will be sentenced to 6 months imprisonment.
The Excise Act has been amended to prohibit the sale of cigarettes marked for one province in another province. Smuggling is viewed by many as a very innocuous crime with no victims. This is simply untrue. Smuggling undermines the fiscal integrity of the province. Revenue losses are currently estimated to exceed $30 million per year. To give perspective to these figures, this amount would operate 2 hospitals the size of the Burin Peninsula Healthcare Centre. This revenue could be dedicated to hospital beds, road construction, or increased resources in our schools. When a group in society does not pay their fair share of the taxes, taxpayers are forced to pay a disproportionate burden of tax. Smuggling leads to the loss of legitimate jobs and inhibits government's ability to fund socio-economic programs. Smuggling adversely affects the quality of life for law-abiding citizens. Clergy witness the stress this puts on the family.
The concern for us as a church, and also a concern for us as a ministerial association, is the availability of alcohol and alcohol products, and particularly as it pertains to contraband, which is so readily available in the area, that a lot of young people are being caught up in the whole process of drinking. There's a lot of underage drinking that's going on, and we all recognize the fact that there's a lot of peer pressure. But we're also concerned as to the way it affects families. We know that a lot of adults are also involved in this and is causing a lot of stress on families. There's a lot of stress on the whole family unit, the children and the adults. And we've seen so much evidence of this, and we've had concerns expressed to us about the amount of alcohol that's available and some of the dangers that are involved. And we're concerned with people operating vehicles, bicycles, boats, just about everything while they're under the influence of alcohol, as well as the example that it's setting for young people and for adults as well.
When we condone the selling of contraband products, either by our participation or by our silence, we relinquish control to the individuals involved in these activities. Liquor and tobacco are controlled by an intricate series of laws designed to protect our society, particularly the young, from the potentially harmful effects of these substances.
Good evening. Can I help you with something?
Can we get a picture of me or send over to that booth over there?
Does anybody have an ID?
No, we were here last week and
Oh,
we didn't need IDs.
I got mine. It's home, but
I'm sorry, I cannot serve anybody liquor unless they have an ID.
we were here last time.
Doesn't matter, I'm sorry.
Only a week ago.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Have a nice evening.
Legal distributors of these products are monitored to ensure they comply with these regulations.
We can't definitely stand in this parking lot all night either.
You got a better idea?
You guys want to get drunk? Come with me. I know right where we can get it.
Yeah, but we're going to need ID.
Oh, no idea where I'm going, sweetheart.
The alternative to legitimate operations empowers the smuggler and may place an inordinate amount of control for our children's welfare in those hands.
Hey.
Got the liquor?
Oh yeah, we got the grain stuff left though. It's good enough to get you going. All right.
Individuals who break the law to gain access to contraband substances are unlikely to be discerning in their distribution, since profit and greed are the only motivating factors in the equation.
Good on. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir. I told you.
That is strong stuff.
Sweet, not doing here in the car.
I'm gonna kill you.
I'll show you what you did.
Oh my God, that's all we got.
Take a swig with your mouth. With your mouth. Watch. Watch.
Oh! Oh, great!
It's good. Just give it a second. Just give it a second.
Come on. Come on, let's go.
Are we gonna go to the dance? I got a hat. Oh, I lost my hat.
Get in!
Okay.
I don't want that no more. That was this. Oh man, move over.
Oh! You got any gum?
Get in!
Go! Yeah! Come on! You're not going fast enough!
Let's go!
Yeah!
Those individuals involved in the illegal sale of contraband products quite often fail to witness the misery caused by these transactions.
Alcohol, take care. Grain alcohol.
The cost, both in property damage and human misery, is never deposited at the door of the smuggler. And all too frequently, more responsible members of our society are left to deal with the tragedy.
We're going to have a death in the near future.
Medical personnel see firsthand the effects of contraband in the community.
It seems to be a very acute, serious problem on the peninsula with regards to the availability of the contraband alcohol. Children are experimenting with this at a younger age. We don't know the potency of the alcohol on a lot of occasions. We don't know what impurities are in the alcohol. There could be some toxic substances in it. Children think they can drink this fairly easily and just get drunk. The problem is they get not only drunk, they get severely alcohol intoxicated, leading to being comatose. The fear of them drinking this in the winter and being outdoors, hypothermia is a grave concern. And we've had a fair number of near misses brought into our emergency department over the past year or two with children coming in that state, being resuscitated and surviving. But my grave concern is that in the next year we may have a death because of this. And it doesn't seem to be getting better, it seems to be getting worse.
What we're seeing on the Burin Peninsula is a lot of youth are using alcohol, and the alcohol that they're using is contraband liquor. There's a number of reasons for this. Number one, it's cheap, it's easy to get, they don't need a lot of money. Number two, it's so accepted. You know, parents use it, people in the community use it, it's a livelihood for some people, and it's just no big deal. People don't think it's criminal. The youth a lot of times don't think about what the long-term effects of their use is going to be, how it can affect their health, how it can affect their relationships, not only with their friends but with their families, education, and just all aspects of their life, how they cope with things. On a more positive note, there are a lot of youth on the Burin Peninsula who are choosing not to use and spending their time and energies in a lot of positive activities. Hopefully, through their work and through the work of agencies like Addiction Services, the RCMP, and through community and family involvement, we'll get a lot more youth making that choice.
Law enforcement agencies are sending a clear message. Penalties for conviction under excise violations are increasing. Newfoundland and Labrador has a zero-tolerance policy toward smuggling.
George, look!